Good day, Mzansi. My name is Kagiso Maditsilanga Ragosa, and this is the 4th episode of Property Empowerment brought to you by One Africa Radio TV in partnership with Lucky Properties. Now, this is a show that educates you on how to purchase a property. But then today, we've got a guest who had a bad experience, who lost a property, Mr. Makone. Good day, sir.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm okay.
So please tell us, how did you become a victim?
Ukuthi ngize ngibe victim ngangadoctwe umamkhulu wami. So mangangadoctile umamkhulu wami ngothola ukuthi bengatholi ingane, ahlala nendoda yakhe. So ke indoda yakhe yamshiya ke wabuyela ngokomuntu waseZimbabwe indoda yakhe. So ngahlala naye, mangihleli naye kuze kufike to that extent ukuthi ngithi kumama makeza azohlala nami phezulu because umamkhulu beseshonile. Right, mangisahleli nomama and then to find out ukuthi umama uyahamba uyakuphi kusothu cancel office. Then change amaphepha ayongena egameni lakhe esibongweni sasemshadweni, and then wahlala ushithi kunabo dadewethu asuka nabo emshadweni. Wahlala nabo ke makahlala nabo then ukuthi move out lapho 20 lapho ngihlala khona. So wasala ke nabantwana laba bobuya emshadweni, and then later makashona wasala labantwana lapho. Mabasala labantwana ukuthi asaphila umama ngitry ukuthi soyilungisa lesidingo bathola ukuthi uzoshona 2020. So namanje hlala kudadewethu nomfowethu oyi-1. So bengidinga ukuthi ngibuyele lapha because umamkhulu wayeshiyele mina, although naku house permit wayengifakile because washo kahle straight nabo bahleli kanje balazi iqiniso ukuthi le ndlu leya ibhekane nobani. Yeah. So ke ukuthi ngithole back ngisazama ukuthi ngithole back because abantu abahleli lapha bayazi ukuthi abahlelanga ngokomthetho lapho. Manje ke njengoba ngilana bengicela ukuthi nawo wonke umuntu omamele noma abantu basazi story, they know very well ukuthi their property kabani, as if umamkhulu wami ebetshela wonke umuntu. So i-paperwork ukuthi izichange ngaba surprised because mina bengamcabangeli njengomama ukuthi angaze ngenze into efana nayo. So ke ngibhlungu manje because ngikhuluma kanje, ngiyathemba ukuthi wonke umuntu omamele, ngiyathemba ukuthi nomuntu osazi istory angaphawula lapho afuna ukuphawula khona because bayazi ukuthi ngikhuluma into straight, yabona. And njengoba ngikhuluma into straight kanje, uma umkhulu wami wayeshiye ngothando lendlu angishiyele yona, indlu yabhidlika khona manje angazi ukuthi kufanele ngenzeni because udadewethu lo zemva kwami wangitshela ukuthi ngeke ngiyithole, angazi ngamapha amagama. Namanje sishonele umalume sidala endlini lapho kuzalula khona umama, still nalapho usambhula nalapho. So angazi mina ukuthi njengoba ngihleli lapha ufuna ukuthi ngize ngenzeni because into yokucala le ndlu ihlala kuyo khona manje yindlu yasekhaya, nale lapha phezulu asifamily house le. So unyamangala angafuni ukuthi ngiyohlala laphana because ngambe amakhodi naye ngimlonga ngihamba naye amakhodi siyahla sinyoka. So ngikhathele mina, the only thing engiyifunayo ngifuna okongokwami. So ukuthi ngizokhuluma okuningi angisathandi ukuthi ngikhulume kakhulu because naye umntana wakhe firstborn yakhe uze wangiphakamisela isandla mangicala ngikhuluma ngale handle le. Khona manje sihleli lapho esihleli khona ubhizi uyangibhula and ungena endlini unginikeze a small home. So angazi ke ukuthi njengoba nginikeze a small home occupy igarage, occupy i-room elenye, occupy indlu. So mina ubuhlungu enginabo akanginikeze okungokwami then ke asale lapho kabumama kagogwethu. So mina ngiyacela, although nomphakathi ngize ngabiza no Makamo uyasazi the story because it just ran away makuzo Makamo. So bengicela mina njengoba ngilana ukuthi noma nalapha ngimamele nalapha khona makungimamele ngicela okungokwami. So ke njengoba ngicela kanje okungokwami ngikhathele ngoba ngikhulumi naye 7 years, ngina 8 years ngingakhulumi naye. So bengicela ke ukuthi njengoba ngilana ngicela ukuthi angimamele nalabo abanye abamamele although nama relative nabo auntie bami ngicela baphawule ngalento engikhuluma ngayo.
So i-court nihambile for close to 8 years plus minus 8 years.
Yebo sihambile i-court le domestic violence yase-Orlando. Ibile sama saze sa end up asamba but in the court la of but in
Masters?
No, yeah, masters. So no, not the masters. Magistrate court.
Oh.
Yeah. So magistrate court ya end up isithumela kuphi high court. Wathola ukuthi high court bengithola lawyer, so lawyer disappear. So wathola ukuthi asaqhubeki lo case there. Yingakho ngistuck because bekufanele ukuthi uyofinalize kuphi high court. So namanje njengoba ngihleli laphana ngiphethe ama document walapha kaGogo. So kunento eyi1 esime ngayo. Wa end up angitshela court ukuthi nase office ukuthi sizogcina icourt. So angazi ke ukuthi ufuna ukuthi ngiyenzeni manje because ngihlele kabuhlungu kahle kahle. And ngapha nginendlu engishilo mamkhulu wami. That's why ngithi ngicela okungokwami ngoba manje sengihleli akuwena abantwana bakhe bagcwele ijarity. So angazi ushuthi ngamanye amagama yena uthatha konke. So mina uthi ngiyephi because nami nginabo abantwana. So ngizibuza leyo nto ngoba manje uthatha abazukulu bakhe bagcwalise lapha ejaridini, uthathe abantwana bakhe uthi nabo lapha ejaridini, abantwana bekho lapha ejaridini. So ngibhlungu because uowner ngapha nangapha bekwazi ukuthi ayele phezulu kulendlu abangishile yona ayofuna imali emkhulu ngenkani, uyabona. So manje mina angiyini ukuya lephezulu ngiyobahlopha la ngoba kusele abantwana abayi2 umfana noyintombazana. So lento le ingizisa ubuhlungu because lo muntu lo uzemva wami but uzenza sengathi umdala kimi. And this thing yokuthi alibela zenza ngisengikhathele because ngabe amakhoti kakhulu nalomuntu. So mina bengifuna nje ukuthi ngithola kongokwami asale endlini kagogo wakhe zifi lezi zinto azenzayo nalapha ejaridini azingijabulezi, yabona. Wenza konke lento ayifunayo, uyachela wenzani. That's why bengilanda uMakampi because bengifuna ukuthi ambuze ukuthi uchela kanjani le jacket kungaselawo ngoba mina naye lapha ehleli khona siyafana. So ukuthi ngimshiye ngepeace angithola okungokwami ahlale nabazukulu bakhe nabantwana bakhe. Ngikhathele yilo muntu, ngiyacela nani labeni mamele ukuthi niphawule lapha enifuna ukuphawula khona because impilo yami engiphilayo angifuni izingidilele entweni ezirong, yabona. Ngoba manje sengihleli ngifana njenge stranger lapha and lento leyo engizisa ubuhlungu because nami ngizalula lapha kulela khaya. Makuba kafuna ukuhlala nami ngcono futhi nakhona ukuthi ngiziphumele ngoba nami ngeke ngihlale naye. Izinto azenzayo uyangiphusha ukuthi ngenze although ngidelelwa nabo abantwana abancane abazukulu bakhe. They talk anyhow the way bafuna ngakhona. So angeke ngitolerate lento ukuthi ngihlalele into ezifana nazo lezo. Umama wethu ngoba ngi-first born wasuka wayechange ngendlela ezinjani akangicelanga wenze yonke into paperwork. Mina ngize ngithole ukuthi wenzele mangithi ngiyochecka ukuthi no fanele ngilungise because umamkhulu wami is deceased, everything mele ibe back to order, your paperwork ngisazi ukuthi sibhadala yami izinto zasendlini i-maintenance yase. Mangifika lapha to find out ukuthi umama uyishentshile le ngambuza ngathi mama uyishentshe kanjani lento because ngishiyelwe yona lento ngokufake endlini umamkhulu makaceda ukushona ngokuthemba.
Anigama lakho belibhaliwe lapho ukuthi ushele?
Yebo libhaliwe kulento za house permit wayenze ne-affidavit umamkhulu wami. So lezi zinto ukuthi uzenze kanjani ba destroy ne-information kade lapha e-ofisini. So ke ngasala mina ngasatholanga next ayela ukuthi ngihambe nyema SABC ngihambe ngiye kuphi ngifuna that information. I-lawyer le yiyo yangitholela zonke lezi zinto le yathi no nayi paperwork engiyitholayo eyale handle le as if namanje njengoba ngisayiphethe ngayikhiphe court. I-court that's why isithumele kuphi e-court. So azange isafika lo case e-court yaphelele emoyeni. Ingakho ngithi ngicela okungokwami back.
Yini leyo?
Indlu leyo.
Okay.
Yeah, yile umamami ayichangeile yangena egameni lakhe without ukuvumelana nami.
there you heard it, because I mean, more importantly, the most sad part of this is this was done by his mother. All right, so let's just take a short interval break and then we'll see after these. Welcome back to Property Empowerment, brought to you by One Africa Radio TV in partnership with Lucky Properties. So, right now I'm going to have a conversation with property practitioner, Mr. Lucky Nkosi. Mr. Nkosi, I do believe that you are familiar with the case of Ndate Makone.
Yes, ma'am.
So, could you kindly explain of the process in having to solve the situation?
You know, Mr. Makone's case is one of those which is very sad. But in terms of actually avoiding it, it's not the easiest thing to do, because the person that did it to him, as he mentioned, it was his mother, and she did not mention to him that she was having any intention of doing such a thing. So he had no way of knowing that. But the one way to try and mitigate is to always stay on top of your municipality statement, your bank statements, where there is correspondence with you and the institutions that you are working with, where your name will be mentioned, or the name of the owner of the property in question. When they bill you in your name, to say Lucky Nkosi's property, or Kagiso's property, whoever's property it is. So you would see if there's a change there. So then that is the one way to just stay abreast in terms of the correspondence documents with the actual authorities, to then say, is your name still appearing there? And then you can be able to query the thing while it's still fresh enough. So more than anything is just to stay informed and ensure that you are aware of all matters related. And then, of course, that means the person must always make sure that they service the payments that they need to be, the obligations, as I say, of your municipalities, your bank, whoever it is. But most importantly is to ensure that you always use professionals, people who are registered. We are called property practitioners because we practice in the profession of property. So if you need to do anything, you always speak to a person who is registered in the business. Therefore, you have a degree of safety. A property practitioner, a bond originator, and a conveyancing attorney, for example, to maybe assist with whatever that you need to do. But if you're working with a registered person, you already have some form of protection.
So in other words, you think that he might not necessarily have worked with someone who's registered?
As mentioned, that in fact, I don't know how much it came through in his explanation, but like I mentioned in the beginning, this was, you could call it a fraudulent experience, because it was not even done through a conveyancer or anything like that. So it was done behind his back without his knowledge. So the man had no idea to even look for help until it was too late. It was about a year after it was transferred that he had any information that it actually, in fact, somebody else alerted him to say, he mentioned to me when he came to me to report, to say, I saw your mother at the offices busy inquiring, just go and check. That's actually how it came to him. So he didn't do anything at the time. Somebody did something to him, which is why we called him a victim of a bad experience. Yes.
So because the case has been going on for close to 8 years?
Many years.
Do you think it's too late for him to actually get the property back?
No, it's never too late, because if there's a fraudulent transfer of a property from one person to another, that is illegal. It's not supposed to happen. So if he can prove it, which the man does have the documents, he showed me all the affidavits from the actual neighbors, and the nomination actually from his aunt as well, when they gave him the house. So if you can, like he said, he did try and get a lawyer, but the lawyer, it seems, he got liquidated. The lawyer that after he paid him 10,000 rand, that lawyer, he literally found the offices, they took the furniture from the office. So a very unlucky experience, you would even call it. So it was supposed to go to High Court now. So the man had all the backup paperwork that was required for him to then, take it up to the court. Once a magistrate court or a high court can see the documentation supporting that indeed the property belongs to this person instead of that person, they then can make a rule to say, you know what, it must be transferred, and you can appoint a conveyancing attorney to then do the work of actually converting it back from his mother back to him.
Yeah.
Yes, because he does have the backup paperwork of showing him as the only son that they had, because they didn't have their own biological, but he was adopted by they even wrote it on the actual affidavit.
All right then. So how would you advise our viewership to, even if maybe in the same situation? You did also mention that the paperwork has to be accordingly. But then besides from that, because now it might be 2 or even a year or 8, 10, 20 years, how would you give that conclusive advice to our viewers at home?
If anything, for me, to the viewers at home and everybody out there, it's never too late to make things right. I think that's what a person, and to always be in control of even the situation, even in our emotions, because it's very disturbing what the problem, because it's a very, very big investment. And an amount as well. I mean, buying a property is anything from like a 500,000 rand even for the kind of houses in the area he's talking about. And this is like talking about the 4-room houses, which are basically like the old RDP houses, basically in the old dispensation of South Africa. So you would find that a person, they'll end up not even being able to think clearly and straight. So a person, firstly, you need to calm down and be able to then go through many, because there are many, many challenges, especially in the townships, right? Yeah, there are even street councillors, where, because you might not have money. I mean, money is a big issue, which is what the one issue that he had of saying to take it to the High Court, he needed to hire a lawyer, with a conveyancing attorney lawyer, to then, apply on his behalf and take all the paperwork with them to go and now plead his case, for him to then get a ruling in his favor. So in the lack of money, for example, as I say, in the townships, I know you don't need money to engage with some of the street committees and some of the community, a larger community. So from the street to the actual, larger community. So there are stakeholders that can be able to assist you in that. So as long as you go out there and look for help, that is the one thing to say. Don't keep it to yourself and think there is no help. There is help. And it doesn't all need money. Some of the help definitely, for example, people do, I don't know how many people know, but to speak to a property practitioner, an agent, some people still call us agents, but some call us practitioners. But the truth of the matter is, to get a good property practitioner agent, the platforms are out there. You've got Property 24, you've got Private Property. Those are big platforms, on the internet, where you can then find agents that are listed there in your area, and then you contact a person who's already working in your area, because you can see that already they've been vetted by those websites before, because those websites do ask for the information, of the agent or property practitioners before they register them on their sites as well. So you are able to then get assistance when you just want to ask your agent, for example, to assist you with advice. To say, you know what, I've got this kind of a situation here. Even a conveyancer, for example, even the bond originators, for you to just ask them to say, guys, I'm thinking of buying a property. You don't get charged until at a much later stage.
Okay.
True, unless you want to maybe do an evaluation. There's 2 ways, right? So when you do an evaluation, you do it with an intention of selling, or you do it with an intention of maybe just knowing for your own knowledge. Therefore, you then pay for it if you just wanted to know. But if you want an evaluation with an intention to sell, therefore you don't have to pay for that, because I'm doing this so that I establish the price as an agent practitioner, a property practitioner myself, to say this property will cost 650,000 or 500,000, however much it may be. And I won't charge you if, as I say, your intention is to find this out so that you can be able to then sell. So for us to establish the price, because after that, obviously, I'll get paid, at the end of the process. But literally, you haven't paid me until I've basically, made you money too.
There you go. You heard it very well from the property practitioner.
That's it.
All right, that is it for this episode of Property Empowerment, because we truly want to educate you on how you can go about to buying and owning a property. But then with that said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode.